the big question, if there is, this is Stephen Hawking, supposed to be one of the most intellectual people of the century. He occupies the chair which was held by Sir Isaac Newton, and as per him, it is reasonable to ask who or what created the universe. But if the answer is God, then the question has merely been deflected to that of who created God. Have you heard this thing? Raise your hands. Have you heard this thing? Who created God? Right? I remember when I first became a Christian, and we had gone for an assignment. I still remember, it was so vivid, it was like a slap on my face. And we were staying in one room, we had gone on an assignment to Pune. And I woke up, I was reading the Bible. He's asking me, you became a Christian? I said, yeah. So he was a Jain. So I asked him, yes. And I started to speak to him about God. And he asked me, okay, let me ask you, Naren, if you say God created you, then who created God? And my hair still stands on end. It's small, it's short, but it still stands on end when I remember that embarrassing time when he asked me, who created God? I gave something, but even I was not convinced. Then who created the one who created God? Then who created the one who created? You heard all these things, right? So let's take a quick demonstration. My response in summary, pay close attention to this. You must have seen this, but I'll give you a new perspective on this. It's a very long video, so I'll cut it short because my message is across now. So, my response, that was my response. So, the question that I asked you, you saw this list of dominoes, like one started falling and then an entire circus happened. You see this in TV, it's very important, it's very interesting to watch. They go in all directions and everything starts falling. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 10, 20, 100 and all, right? So, everything that begins to exist, the underlying word meaning begins to exist has a cause. This is science. That's the science of causality. I will not get into it. This is not a Christian statement. This is science. So, when I am speaking to you, forget that I am a Christian. Nowhere I will be appealing to God that the Bible says that, that's why it is true. I am talking science. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. Right? Now, you saw those dominoes falling. What was the most important part? What was the most important part? No, God is not the important. Yes, He is, but in a different way. But what was the most? Yes? The first domino. Was the first domino toppled over by another domino? No. It was toppled by somebody who was not a domino outside of the ecosystem of the domino. Yes? Agreed? Science, logic, right? So that system, so this universe, somebody started the first domino. The universe began to exist. That is also science. This is not what I am making up. I will prove that also to you. So what can we say about this first cause? Remember the domino? The universe began to exist. I will prove that also. That is the first thing. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. The unmoved mover. You heard about this Aristotle. I don't know how many of you have heard of it. Aristotle, the unmoved mover. Now, as per the Big Bang theory, and it is true, it is the most pervasively accepted theory. As per the Big Bang theory, Stephen Hawking space-time theorem, at the time where Big Bang happened, that instant of time, what all was created? Space, matter, energy, even time, 4 parameters. So before the Big Bang, there was not even time. Forget space, forget matter, forget energy. At that one instant, all those 4 things were created simultaneously. If that was the case, what can we say about the one who started the first domino with regards to the universe? He has to be beyond space because he created space. He has to be eternal, that is beyond time, because he created time. He had to be he is beyond matter because matter was created by him or by God. by whomsoever you want to call it. And the last but not the least, since energy was also created by him, all the entire universe, he had to be immensely, immensely powerful. Since he knew almost everything that is to be known about the universe, he is incredibly brilliant. So, and last but not the least, also a personal being. You have heard this statement, Star Wars, let the force be with you? Yes. So, that force is an impersonal force, it cannot make a choice. It is not like I can make a choice, right? Now, this electricity flowing through this, can it make a choice? No. Electricity is a force, it has to be directed by an intelligent mind. So, this being had to be spaceless, timeless, beyond energy, beyond time, extremely powerful, extremely intelligent and personal. Those parameters, the one who fulfills is what we call as God. For an atheist, the moment you use the word God, that alarm bell start ringing in his head. So, whatever you want to call it, you want to call it, give it any Tom, Dick and Harry name, that is fine with me. That being is what a theist calls as God. Now, was this unique to Christianity? Absolutely not. The ancient thinkers, Aristotle was one of the first ones to come up with the unmoved mover. The Greeks figured it out 300 years before Christ, 300 BC. Of course, the Bible was written in 1800 BC something, so Moses also wrote about it, but I am talking beyond the Bible. I will not appeal to the authority of the Bible. Even the ancient Greeks knew it. They simply did not equate that with God. Why can't the universe be eternal, right? That is the thought that happens. The Jain friend of mine asked me that same question. If you are saying that is the Jain philosophy, that is the Jain, I will quote you the verses too. If you created if the universe created you, who created the universe, and the one who created the universe, and the one who created the universe, all such endless cycle, we say the universe is eternal. That is the base philosophy of Jainism and Buddhism. So, why can't the universe be eternal? What does science say about that? 5 factors, we call it as the surge factors. Second law of thermodynamics, I will explain that. Universe is expanding, you have heard about this, right? The universe is expanding. The universe has a fixed size as of now, it is 13.5 billion light years in diameter, 13.5 billion light years. If that is the case and it is expanding, it means sometimes it was lesser, then sometimes it was lesser, and if we go back in time 13.4 something billion years ago, that time the universe was simply not existing. So, the universe begins to exist, there is a radiation afterglow which is scientific, I cannot really get into it. There is a great galaxy seeds and Einstein's general theory of relativity, radioactive decay. These are the 5 factors, I cannot elaborate, but these are the 5 factors, you can look it up, and I will only elaborate on one which will hold significance across my presentation, is the second law of thermodynamics. Simply speaking, the amount of usable energy in a system tends to decrease over a period of time. The amount of energy in a system tends to decrease, usable energy. It is like this, I came in my car, it burned diesel. Diesel had this energy, right? It contains energy, it was burning, produced energy, my car was propelled forward. What happened to that energy? It is gone, right? Can it be reclaimed? Somehow you gather something somewhere, no it can't be. You heat up water, after some time it becomes cold, right? Can you get that energy back? No. But to make it hot you have to spend energy, right? And that energy is gone forever. So, the amount of usable energy in the universe tends to decrease over a period of time. So, if that was the case and the universe is continuously burning energy, that means at some time it started. If it is eternal, the universe would have been cold and dead ages back. You getting what I am saying? If I am saying that 13.4 billion years is the life of the universe, is the current lifespan of the universe, life of the universe that is, maybe in a few trillion years, not maybe, this is scientific fact, as per the second law of thermodynamics, the entire universe will be cold and dead. This is science, I am not talking Bible. Would be cold and dead, nothing would exist except helium and hydrogen atoms. That is it, it is over. So, the universe was eternal trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions years in the past. The universe should have been finished, today should not have been there. But we are here, we are having this presentation, that simply means that the universe had a beginning. Second law of thermodynamics. So, creation and other beliefs, as I said earlier, this video would be there online, you can check up the links. I have taken the links from Jain and Buddhist sites. Simply speaking, look at what Jainism says. Jainism believes that the universe and all its substances or entities are eternal. Science does not support that. Buddhism, the beginning of this world and of life is inconceivable since they have neither beginning nor end. Science doesn't support that. Hinduism believes in a cyclical universe, that is, it grows, it contracts, it grows and contracts eternally. But again, science doesn't support that. The universe simply doesn't have enough mass and energy to collapse back on itself and grow again. It's over. It's a one-way road. What about the multiverse? Now, I remember something. There's this girl I know from a church, scientific PhD sort of a thing, and I was so excited about this, the Bible and science and stuff like that, and I was telling her, you know, all the scientific facts, and she's saying, Narendra, if there is something called as a multiverse, then all these things are irrelevant. That is what the multiverse simply says, is that our universe is not alone. There are billions and billions, trillions and trillions of other universes also, and our universe just happened by chance. There is overall, it is also called as cosmology theory of inflation. It's again just a hypothesis, not much of an evidence. So it's something like this. So all bubbles, infinite number of bubble universes, and our universe is just, oh man, it's just one of them. Can you see it? I'm sorry, the lights are a bit high. Anyway, what about the multiverse and the scientist observation? This is Paul Davies, a very, very well known scientist. He says about the multiverse, it leads to a fake universe with fake physics, because you are assuming a lot of things. Look at the second thing that he says. You write down a list, there's about 10 different basic assumptions, that you have to make to infer a multiverse. That is Paul Davies. Now, you heard about the 4 horsemen, right? We just discussed the 4 horsemen, Christopher Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, then Sam Harris, then Daniel Dennett, the 4 horsemen. So these were not the original horsemen. The original horseman was this guy, Anthony Flew. Look it up. Don't trust my word, look it up. Anthony Flew was the original horseman. He was the most vitriolic, strongest, staunchest support of atheism. A brilliant man. He was not a sada man. He was a brilliant guy, and after studying the beginning of the universe, his comments was, when I first met the Big Bang theory as an atheist, it seemed to me the theory made a big difference, because I suggested that the universe had a beginning, and that the first sentence in Genesis, this is Anthony Flew, he never became a Christian, he became a agnostic, that is, I don't know which God. Okay, so I am not quoting a Christian scientist, I am quoting an ex-atheist, non-Christian scientist. Makes a huge difference. I can quote 20 Christian scientists, which I am not doing. So, the first sentence in Genesis was related to an event in the universe. If the universe had a beginning, it became entirely sensible, almost inevitable to ask, what produced this beginning? This radically altered the situation. Going ahead, the argument from design.